And now, what is life like for Brits at the age of 70? A new survey by Nationwide Building Society gives an insight sought to find out just that. Well, according to their report, the average 70-year-old spends 11 days a month socialising. 20% list a Harry Potter film as one of their favourites, and many 70-year-olds listen to pop music as much as they do classical. And 3 in 10 who were surveyed said they are more active than they were in their 50s. Well, joining us now in the studio is the oldest Briton to climb Mount Everest, explorer and writer, so Ranulph Fiennes. I do have to point out, you are talking about this, but you're not sort of your average 70-year-old. You've done much more than most people will have done in their 70s.
Well, I do qualify. 10 years ago, I had a massive heart attack, double bypass, sort of pre-diabetic state, cancer. So I've had one or two of the sort of introductions to proper old age. And I have found that after 65, that's on average, that I have to train much harder to keep going on the expeditions than I used to. So because life is very busy, to spend 25 minutes every morning doing fitness and stretch, which I never used to have to do, is a pain in the neck.
Literally.
Literally a pain in the neck.
Yeah, literally.
And is the survey finding that 70-year-olds are more active than they ever been? Most of them said they were more active than they were in their 50s, perhaps even younger.
Yeah, no, the Nationwide report makes it quite clear that statistically they have checked on 2,000 old people and got honest answers. And the honest answers are quite surprising, and I think people like my wife, who's quite a lot younger, and my daughter, who's 10, think of people like me as totally decrepit. And this report would indicate that that's not the case at all. Whether it used to be or not, I don't know. But now there are amazing signs of bubbly youth in 70-year-olds, and therefore presumably 80-year-olds too.
It's very obvious, actually, the way things are marketed now. That's a specific age group that people market to. I mean, just looking at adverts with Helen Mirren on advertising face cream, because we're still worth it, I think, is the strapline on that advertising. And obviously, 70-year-olds want to buy things like face cream and want to socialise 11 days a month and want to still look nice.
That's right, and then there's the argument about the colour grey, whether you're male or female, you should be stopping it going grey. I don't know. It's a mixed subject, but definitely this report makes out that we, the oldies, are not nearly as old as the young folk think we are.
So 70 is the new 60 or 55?
Quite.
I mean, is it partly to do with the fact that perhaps older people aren't as compartmentalised as before, that they do have a range of friends of differing ages, that you're not simply being packed off to the retirement home at 65 and forgotten?
Yeah, and this is obviously coming, with the tweeting and the twittering and the YouTubing and all this sort of stuff, which is going on at people who are in their 80s, and they love being able to get with it and talk to all sorts of people, whether they know them or not. And and socialising generally is getting easier all the time.
Just looking at some of the little details that have been pulled out. Favourite TV genre is either a drama or a documentary. Would you fall into that category?
I would go for things on TV like 40 Towers, I'm afraid.
That is on the list. That makes it there, with Only Fools and Horses and the 2 Ronnies. And favourite kind of music amongst the 70-year-olds plus tends to be Queen, ABBA and the Beatles. Are you a fan of any of those?
ABBA, yes. Beatles, obviously. But for me, Enya is just brilliant sound. Simon and Garfunkel, pretty good.
They're all quite relaxing tunes, considering
when
you're out there exploring, you probably need
beat.
something to calm you down.
Sort of, even going back to some of the Tom Jones things, and ABBA's okay.
I like that. ABBA gets the thumbs up. But some other interesting things in there. The number of books that were read, 9 per year, and Harry Potter, bizarrely, was a big film. And a big book amongst people over 70.
No, I can very well remember in hospital, I just had my fingers off, and I got visited by someone who said, "Have this book," and it was a Socrates cover, so I thought, how boring. Inside, it was the first Harry Potter. So you could read it on a train without looking as if you're reading a Harry Potter.
What's wrong with reading Harry Potter? But that's fine, isn't it, to read Harry Potter?
It's a bit more acceptable now. It's a bit more acceptable now.
In those days, no. If you were an oldie, you don't read Harry Potter.
And you did enjoy it, right?
I loved it.
Excellent.
Still do.
Okay, well, so Ranulph Fiennes, thank you very much for coming in to talk to us about all things secrets of the 70-somethings. 70, as Jackie said, is the new 60, 50, 40 maybe.
It could be
Thank
anything,
you very
couldn't
much.
it?